Welcome to the latest edition of F1 Racing's Garage Talk. I'm DJ Flo.
I am Eric Richardson.
I'm going to jump right in and get started today. NASCAR just finished up at Sonoma. Daniel Suarez wins. And I'm going to throw a trivia question right at you, Eric. Daniel Suarez is the fifth foreign-born NASCAR Cup Series race winner. We'll say top tier, obviously had different names over the years. Can you name the other four foreign-born drivers that have won a race?
Let's see. Marcos Ambrose.
That's one.
I believe he was at Watkins Glen.
Mm-hmm.
Mario Andretti got one.
That's two.
Oh boy. I remember seeing these on Sunday too.
That's where I saw it.
One driver from the 60s.
Andretti was the 60s. It was one from the 70s, and then there's one who's still racing today, but not in NASCAR. There's your hint.
Oh, not in NASCAR. Oh, Montoya.
Yeah, Juan Pablo Montoya also won it
Sonoma.
At Sonoma. Yep. So the last one, I had honestly never heard of this driver before. It was Earl Ross at Martinsville Speedway.
I couldn't remember his last name.
Earl Ross at Martinsville Speedway, September 29th, 1974. That is so hard to believe. Trivia. Yeah, that is really hard to believe that there have only been 5 foreign-born NASCAR winners.
Especially with how long it's been running, because 98 was the 50th anniversary.
Yeah, exactly.
2022 now.
I mean, it shows like for years it was just a U.S.-based event, U.S. drivers. And I mean, it was, from my standpoint, I mean, with the exception of Mario Andretti, who obviously is a legend, you'd see Juan Pablo Montoya come in here. You saw, Marcos Ambrose come in, and it's just, I mean, that was kind of it.
Yeah, that's huge. And congrats to him as well. That was his first NASCAR win. He's been running up front, doing pretty well, and some tough luck, but it's great to see him finally break through.
Yeah, he looked really good, and I loved they kept cutting to his fan section in the crowd. They were just getting super rowdy at the end. It was just fantastic.
And it's awesome that he interacts with that group before the race, and he had actually a special visitor that he saw beforehand. So I'm sure he had something extra in that drive on Sunday.
And that's the thing with NASCAR and even really auto racing in general is that there's no other sport out there that allows the level of access to the drivers, to the athletes as auto racing, and specifically NASCAR probably gets the most credit for that. And I think that's probably what really makes it special in my mind. You see it before the race. These drivers are walking to their cars, and you just see, they got the camera shot of them walking to their car, and you just see these kids running up and getting autographs right there as they're walking. I mean, it's just like, you don't see that anywhere else.
Well, I think we got to experience that firsthand a few years ago for the fall race at Phoenix, just having the pit road passes and just being there and seeing a car get pushed right by you that's going to be going 150 miles an hour later.
Do you still have the lug nut that crew member gave you?
Yeah, they're somewhere around. I want to say they were actually off Terry Labonte's car from a Brickyard 400.
Oh, no, you didn't get I thought when we were in Phoenix, I got one. Didn't you get one from when we were walking around? Someone just gave us a tire lug nut?
I did not get one there, but I actually have 3 from when I went to a Brickyard, maybe early 2000s.
I have one from that Phoenix race. We're walking around on the track, and one of the crew members just like, here, have a lug nut. I'm like, oh, cool. And I still have it I keep it in my drawer, my nightstand in my bedroom.
Yeah, those are cool.
And then we went and ended up in the front row of the fans for the pre-race show, and we're in the back just making faces at like Kyle Petty and
Kyle Petty, Dale Jarrett, and then you got those 2 goofballs in the background.
Yeah, it's just the people that were in the front, they just left right before they went on the air, and now, next thing you know, here's the 2 of us right on live TV. So
now, how hilarious will it be if we end up fielding a car in the Indy 500 or getting a NASCAR team? We bring this picture back in, what was it, 2015 or whatever. Look at these guys.
Oh, I almost forgot. I have this queued up for tomorrow for the Instagram, or I guess we're recording this on Wednesday. This is coming out Friday. So yesterday, it's the problem with doing this kind of thing. But yesterday, you'll see a throwback photo that I found the other day from the 2008 Indy 500. And yes, it's the two of us, actually, much younger two of us. God, that's almost 15 years ago now.
Yeah, it's frightening.
Yeah, well, I just remember we had a cooler with a case of Bud Light. Like, yeah, here we go. We're going to do Indy right. And we did. So
that was a fun race. That was a good day.
yeah. So moving on, Formula One, Max Verstappen wins again. Yay, Max.
Apparently Ferrari blew up.
They
actually blew up. I did not get to watch any of that race, unfortunately, but yeah, it was not a good day for the cars in red.
Yeah, it's just you've just got to feel bad for the drivers. You're driving and then up in smoke, literally.
Well, no, it was two other cars from other teams that had Ferrari power plants actually had the same issue. These 4 cars went out with electrical or mechanicals.
See, I didn't watch it. That race started at 4 a.m. my time. I'm like, no, not getting up at 4 a.m. for that. So this weekend they're in Canada, so they're back on our side. I think it's actually 11 a.m. Pacific time startup. So looking forward to that, being able to watch that during normal hours.
And one interesting thought that I read about how Lewis Hamilton is having back issues right now with the porpoising of the cars and how much they are bouncing.
I see that video of the in-car just to, obviously you can't get the full without, being in there, but seeing the video of it, it just makes me nauseous to watch it. It just, I can't even imagine
some things to work out there.
Having to hold on for about 2 hours doing that. That's so frustrating. But anyway, IndyCar, Road America.
That was an exciting race.
That was. I enjoyed that. I used to despise road courses and IndyCar going to the road courses. And now it's like, with the exception of the Indy 500, I kind of like the road courses better.
And, congrats to Joseph Newgarden on winning the $1 million.
Yeah.
His people ready.
Yep, he got the
street course, oval course, and a road course. So and we're in the first half of the season.
Yeah, that was really good showing. And then Simon Pagenaud had the I don't know if we'll call it a save or the survivalist moment of the day, where he went off track and for quite a while was in the grass trying to hold the car stable. I mean, what do you think? He came less than a foot from that wall.
Yeah, he was not far from that wall, and the length of time that he drove on grass on slick tires, I don't know how he didn't lose it.
It just shows you how skilled these drivers are, that even when they make a mistake like that, they manage to save it, get it back on the track, and keep on going. And just nerves of steel.
Phenomenal drivers.
Trying to remember where's Indy off to next. They've got a couple off weeks.
They are off until July 3rd, and then they go to Mid-Ohio.
Oh, that's right.
So they got a few weeks here. And NASCAR is actually off this weekend too. They'll come back on the 26th at Nashville.
Sidetrack here on the IndyCar. Remember the Pikes Peak Raceway?
Yeah, just south of Colorado Springs.
Yeah, it's just, that was a fun race too. That was, I can imagine, racing in the what's Pikes Peak, the altitude up there? Is it pretty high?
It is over 14,000 feet. I forget the exact height, maybe 14,500. I should know that after living there for a dozen years.
Yeah, you lived there for a long time and are a resident Colorado expert, but I can only imagine just finishing that race, just how exhausted you would be after that, racing at 14,000 feet.
Yeah, you got the raceway at the bottom just south of town. Then you had the Pikes Peak International Hill Climb, where they go up Pikes Peak. That was wild to watch.
Yeah, those were a lot of fun. I mean, that in the 90s with those, and Yeah, flashing back to the 90s, we're all over the place. Yeah, we just actually finished Wednesday Night Dash a little while ago, and then we ran a test session with the GT3 cars, and now we're doing this. So this has been a very busy evening, just because of our schedules for the rest of this week. This is not what we normally do, but I'm all over the place, so whatever. But you go back to the 90s, the Indy Racing League after the split with CART, and you go to Texas, you'd have the race at Texas. And I just vividly remember one of AJ Foyt's drivers, I want to say it was Billy Boat, won the race. And Ari Leindyke came up into victory lane and said there was a timing error. He was listed as a lap down. And he said, no, I was actually on the lead lap. I won that race. And then AJ just punched him. I mean, the video is all over. You can find it on YouTube. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
I remember I was watching it live in my bedroom. I had a TV in my room. I was, I don't know, probably 6th or 7th grade. And I remember I was leaving for summer camp the next morning. I should have been in bed and I wasn't. I was watching that race and I couldn't believe what I had just seen. And then the next day, I think Indy Racing League came back and said, yeah, that it was a mistake. Ari should have won that race. This was almost 30 years ago. Jesus Christ, 30 years ago. But you think that get past these a pretty critical timing error like that. But anyway.
Yep, they happen, but at least they worked through it at the time.
On that note, Wednesday Night Dash, we raced at Charlotte this week. Interesting race. Good turnout tonight.
Yeah, good turnout. Lots of action.
Yeah, it was a good race. I just can't figure out my tires, and it's like I'm losing a lot.
Yeah, it seemed like tires were actually a big deal on a lot of cars. Actually, I should say trucks here tonight.
So you're saying cars, but yeah, it's just I think you said you were in the 60s. I probably was down there. The last I looked, I was at 70% on my front right.
I was watching it towards the end, trying to figure out how much I could give it. And I want to say I was around like that 74, 75%. So I may have actually been a little bit better than others. But I still had a hard time turning in and keeping a line down.
On my problem that I'm dealing with is I just feel that I'm slower, but I'm at least consistent. I look at some of the other times that drivers are having, and they're having much, much larger drop-offs. Mine are consistent. I'm just slower in general. And
yeah, I think a lot of them are running hard in those first 5 to 10 laps and really burning up that front. But track position, as we're seeing, is pretty big. So if you can gain a spot, you might be able to hold on to it as those tires start to wear.
Yeah, but congratulations to Caden McAravey Jr. He won the pole and won the race. Justin Neves was second. Justin's been around. He came in last season with us, and he's been really picking it up and doing, seeing a lot of improvement in his driving. And Mark Vickers finished third at Wednesday Night Dash. So we're seeing a lot of good competition this season, and we're off next week. There'll be no episode
tonight.
Yeah, no episode of Garage Talk next week, but trying to line these up with Wednesday Night Dash seasons or sessions. We're off next week. We'll be back at Darlington in 2 weeks, so that should be interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be, from what I can tell, a narrow track, and I think we're going to be rubbing the walls and banging off each other a little bit here.
There's going to be some tempers flaring, I'm sure.
Yeah, hopefully everybody remembers we're just out there having fun racing. Right. We're not professionals.
Let's not do anything that, we don't, that's just not, etiquette wise, good for the sport. So, I think that should about wrap it up for this week. So I'm on vacation. Eric, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm on the road. Lots of stuff going on. Hopefully I get a chance to visit Daytona here, go on a track tour again. I'm excited to do that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'll be out on the other coast, and I'll be swinging by Fontana on my way out there. So I'm going to stop by and see if I can peek in at the track real quick. But one of the things I'm planning on doing is I'm going to take my car out and do the Grand Prix of Long Beach and drive that as much as I can. Some of it's private property, but the stuff that's on the road, we'll do a drive and see what what those IndyCar drivers see every year at that race.
If you see on the news, some bonehead getting arrested for driving at Daytona, it was probably me. It'd be a lot of fun to just take my car out there, but I don't think they're going to allow it, unfortunately.
Just it'll be good for the social media. not for your criminal record, but good for the social media.
No, maybe someday they do have the I think it's Richard Petty driving experience. Maybe I'll just pony up one day and take a real car out legally.
I think that would be a lot of fun. I mean, I've done the IndyCar at Chicagoland. They have the Rusty Wallace School does the Phoenix Raceway. So I don't know if I'd want to take a NASCAR out at Phoenix Raceway. I think Daytona will be a lot more fun. But.
Now, one last quick fun fact. Do you remember the fan days that the Indy 500 would do?
Yes, absolutely.
I was able to play hooky one time. I think I was 16 or 17. And I did get to drive our car around Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Oh, well, there you go.
So I did get to do that. So I've driven on one track.
Well, I have driven my personal vehicle around Phoenix Raceway. They do a laps for charity twice a year, which, that's a lot of fun. But yes, I drive a little bit faster than 40 miles an hour would be cool too, but not in a Ford Escape. On that note, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Next time we'll have to talk about the time we went to the NASCAR fan. Remember that?
Yeah, I'll see if I can maybe find a couple pictures that we can toss up.
Yeah, we'll pull up the NASCAR Fan Fest where we stood in line. We met Ricky Rudd.
Oh, wow. I'm wearing a Jeff Gordon hat at Ford. We can't forget it was Ford Fan Fest.
Yes,
I'm wearing Chevy driver.
Yeah, we're on the Chevy driver. Went to the Ford Fan Fest. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Can you believe that was almost 20 years ago? That was, I guess, 19 years ago now. It was 2003, wasn't it?
It might have been, or when we're on Monument Circle and the ladies photobombed our pictures of the drivers. I think I have those somewhere.
At the old RCA Dome. Oh God, I just saw me, 18-year-old me in a photo. All right, I got it pulled up. All right, we're gonna do a screen share. Don't laugh too hard here.
Oh man, I'm scared to see this. Oh yeah.
Yes, I did look that young at one point in my life. I can see my hair hasn't changed much in 20 years, but you got Ricky Rudd there, Ford Racing.
Driver of the Tide car.
Well, he wasn't at that time. He was driving, actually, he was driving for Wood Brothers, driving the 21.
That's right. He did switch over.
Yeah, that was after the Tide years, but yeah, that was towards the end of his career. Nice guy, though. So,
yeah, he was really nice. He was fun.
On that note, let's wrap this thing up. We'll see you in 2 weeks for Wednesday Night Dash in our next Garage Talk. FR Racing Online, frracingonline.com. You know where to find us.
Yeah, thanks for watching and thanks for following along with Wednesday Night Dash. It's your support that's helping us do what we're doing. We're having fun with this and want to keep doing things for you.
Agreed. All right, we'll see you next time.
Take care.